Can you imagine an object that is so dense that only 1 teaspoon of it would weigh 4 billion tons? Or can you imagine a star which is so huge that if it replaces our sun, it would cover our entire inner solar system? And what do you think is the brightest object in the entire universe? We will find the answers to all such questions because today I'm going to talk about 5 most bizarre objects in the entire universe. So let's get started. Hello stargazers, I'm Kushi and you're watching Space Girl. Number 1 is Tabby star. So this is the one which has made people think that it was aliens. Tabby star is a main sequence star present in the constellation Cygnus and is about 1500 light years away from us. But unlike all the other stars in the sky, there is something different about this star. It has been baffling astronomers since it was first observed. For no obvious reasons, this star has been dimming and then brightening in a very strange and unpredictable way. So it is like its brightness decreases for some time and then increases again. So now here we need to understand that dimming of the starlight is not weird at all. We have observed the stars and they do get dim for some particular time. Now this is because just like our sun, these stars are also orbited by some planets. And suppose during the time we are observing a star, if a planet passes by in front of that star, then it blocks some of the light coming from that star. Then what's weird about Tabby star? Actually, the amount by which it is dimming is a mystery because whatsoever is orbiting around that star, it is blocking 22% of its starlight, which is too much. In fact, it is impossible. I mean, like Earth can block only 0.008% of the sunlight, and Jupiter, which is the largest planet in our solar system, can only block 1% of the sunlight. You know, you can fit 1300 Earths inside Jupiter. It's pretty huge, but still it can block only 1%. So what is the problem with this Tabby star? So some astronomers have speculated that maybe an alien civilization which is much more advanced than us has created some mega structure around this star, such as a Dyson sphere, in order to fulfill their energy needs. And maybe this is what is blocking the light to such an extent. However, the latest observations do not support this theory because it denies the possibility of it being any opaque object. One of the possible explanations could be that maybe somewhere in the past, Tabby star might have ripped apart a planet orbiting around it, and now the debris and remainings of that planet have been orbiting around that star and blocking most of its light. Well, the mystery still goes on and we don't know what actually is the reason behind it. Number 2 is UY Scuti. Okay, our sun seems to be rather a huge star. Actually, it's not. Rather, it's an average one. Alright, now imagine, if you will, a star that is the size of our entire inner solar system. That means if we replace the star with our sun, its radius would extend beyond the orbit of Jupiter. Imagine how huge would that be. This is UY Scuti. This is the largest known star in the entire universe. Yes, and it is a hypergiant with its radius 1700 times that of the sun. It is so huge that it takes 43 minutes for a photon to travel from its core to its surface. Its volume is 5 billion suns. That means you could fit 5 billion suns inside it. Well, even though in terms of size it is the largest one, it isn't the most massive one. The most massive star in our galaxy is 120 times heavier than our sun, while seemingly UY Scuti is just 30 times heavier than our sun. So maybe it's the largest but not the most dense. Number 3 is quasars. This cool sounding stuff is an active galactic center which is extremely luminous and is powered by supermassive black holes at the center of each galaxy. So quasars are nothing but supermassive black holes in the center of galaxies which release high energy beams into the space. If you want to know more about black holes, you can check this video. Quasars are abbreviated as quasi-stellar radio sources. They got this name because for the first time when they were observed, they looked like stars. A quasar is formed when supermassive black hole at the center of a galaxy has enough material around it to fall into its accretion disk to power it. So what happens is that a supermassive black hole keeps pulling all the dust and clouds around it due to its immense gravitational force. Now as these dust particles come closer and closer to the black hole, they heat up intensively and pick up very high speed. These dust particles begin to form an accretion disk around a black hole. Now these infalling gas and dust particles create so much of outward pressure that huge amount of energy is released in the form of beams. Now quasars are generally found in young galaxies. That means the galaxies which are still forming have these active galactic centers. That is quasars. Black hole at the center of our galaxy is not a quasar today, but it would have been once in the past when the galaxy was still forming and evolving. Well, quasars were more common in the past than today. But then how are we able to find so many of them even today? Okay, to understand this, we need to realize a fact that light travels only at a finite speed of 300,000 kilometers per second. And since the universe is so huge and galaxies are placed so much far apart, we need to understand that light may take hundreds of millions of years to travel from one place to other. So this means that, for example, light takes 8 minutes to travel from sun to the earth. So when we look at the sun, we are not seeing it as it is now, but we are seeing it as it was 8 minutes ago, when the light started to travel from it. So similarly, when we look at the distant galaxies, we don't see them as they are now, but we see them as they were hundreds of millions of years ago. And that is the time when these galaxies were actually very young and their galactic centers were active. So it is kind of like these telescopes help us look back into the time. Okay, now what makes these quasars super cool is the fact that they are the brightest. Yes, the brightest objects in the entire universe. In fact, quasars are so much bright that they can outshine the entire galaxy, which contains hundreds of billions of stars. Number 4 on the list is rogue planets. Well, we usually have this habit of seeing planets in an orbit around a star. But would you believe me if I tell you that there can be some planets which do not orbit any star? Rather, they wander about freely in galaxies. Yes, these are called rogue planets. They move about freely without any orbit in interstellar space. They can be the size of the Earth, or they can even be 12 times the size of Jupiter. These objects have been a source of considerable speculation and have been fascinating astronomers since long. Now we conventionally know that planets are formed within a solar system with the debris left over after the formation of a star. But these rogue planets aren't a part of any solar system, they just move about freely. So then how are they actually formed? Well, initially these rogue planets are formed inside a solar system, but due to some reasons they get kicked off into the deep space. So maybe during the formation of a solar system, when everything is very unstable, some other object would have collided with that planet and maybe it would have changed its trajectory and kicked it off the solar system. It is also possible that when a star, a massive star, goes supernova, that means it dies and then explodes, it ejects the planets away from it with tremendous velocities. Well, what would it be like for those planets? They would be incredibly cold and dark without light and warmth from a star. And the last one, fifth on my list, is neutron star. So when stars, at least 4 to 8 times the mass of the sun, explode in a violent supernova, their outer layer just blows off, leaving behind the inner core, which is very small and intensively dense. And this core continues to collapse on itself due to gravity. Now gravity compresses the material in on itself so tightly that protons and electrons combine together to form neutrons, and this is how neutron star is formed. Now these neutron stars are really very dense. They are just the size of a city but can have mass equal to that of our sun, maybe more. In fact, a neutron star is so dense that just a teaspoonful of it would weigh 1 billion tons. And on an average, the gravity of a neutron star is 2 billion times the gravity of our Earth. Supernova that has actually formed the neutron star gives it an extremely quick rotation. Some of the very fastest rotating neutron stars can spin up to 43,000 times per minute. Well, these were indeed very bizarre things. Well, I wonder if humans are even more weird than these. On that note, until we meet again, keep stargazing.